They said I was the lost cause, the one who couldn't follow through, the shadow behind her spotlight. They told everyone I gave up. They rewrote my story before I had a chance to live it. It wasn't failure. It was something bigger, just not visible yet. I used to scream in silence. I watched birthdays pass without candles, and family dinners where my seat stayed empty, even when I was in the room. They called her the golden child. They called me nothing at all. But the thing about shadows? They know how to survive the dark. And when the lights finally flicker out, it's the shadow that knows how to lead the way. My name is Ava Monroe. I'm 29 years old, and I live in Portland, Oregon. This is how the family that forgot I existed had no choice but to remember me. Growing up, I was supposed to be the doctor. That was the plan. Straight A's, full ride to Northwestern, med school by 24, white coat by 26. Mom even used to introduce me as our future surgeon. It wasn't a joke. It was a family prophecy. Meanwhile, my sister, Chloe, was the artist, the dreamer. She painted murals in the garage and wrote poetry on the walls. They said she had a creative soul. They said I had a stable future. But stability has a way of cracking. First, it was the anxiety. Then came the insomnia. Then came the silence, mine and theirs. I dropped out in my third year. No dramatic explosion. No scandal. Just a quiet unraveling that nobody knew how to talk about. She's just taking a break, Mom would say at church. We don't talk about that anymore, my dad muttered when relatives asked. And Chloe? She bloomed. Art school in New York. Gallery openings. A viral TED Talk on creativity and healing. The girl who once copied my homework became the daughter they paraded. I moved back home to Portland. Took a job shelving books at the public library. No white coat. No prestige. Just rows of forgotten pages and the faint smell of dust. Every family gathering felt like a performance I wasn't invited to. So, what are you doing now, Ava? Oh, still at the library? That's sweet. And I'd smile.
Nod.
Fold myself smaller. Until one day, I quietly started over. No one noticed. But I did. It started with a flyer. Printed in bold letters. Digital Basics for Seniors. Free class every Tuesday at 6 p.m. No one else wanted the shift. I volunteered. The library basement smelled like mildew and old plastic chairs. We had one projector, 6 laptops donated by a local credit union, and a whiteboard that refused to stay clean. The first night, only 3 people showed up. One of them, Mr. Holbrook, fell asleep halfway through. I thought, what am I even doing? But I kept coming. Every Tuesday. Same room. Same 6 laptops. Same stubborn whiteboard. Then she walked in, Doris Langley, 82 years old, wearing a turquoise scarf and too much rose-scented perfume. She marched in and said, "This machine hates me." And frankly, the feeling is mutual. I smiled. Let's prove it wrong. It took us 3 sessions just to get her to stop double-clicking everything. But week by week, we chipped away. One day, she opened an email from her estranged son. He'd written a long letter, an apology, years overdue. She blinked at the screen, tears slipping quietly into the corners of her smile. She looked at me and whispered, "You brought my baby into my living room." I didn't know what to say, so I just placed my hand over hers. That night, I walked home with a kind of warmth I hadn't felt in years. Not pride, not achievement, just meaning. The class grew. 10 people, then 20. We called it Silver Tech Tuesdays. I didn't advertise, didn't tweet, didn't chase applause. But every week, they came back. With questions, with cookies, with stories. It didn't make headlines, but it mattered. What started in a basement became something bigger. By year 2, Silver Tech Tuesdays turned into Silverbridge, a full digital literacy program for seniors across 3 libraries in Oregon. Then 5. Then statewide. We partnered with community centers, senior living homes, even a few tech startups. I created beginner-friendly courses, emailing, online banking, video calls. We translated them into Spanish, Mandarin, and Tagalog. Every month, we trained over 1,200 seniors. Some even became volunteers, teaching others, passing it forward. I applied for grants, pitched local councils, even wrote a proposal to AARP. By year 3, we had a newsletter with a 78% open rate. That's higher than some Fortune 500 companies. I didn't even know that until someone told me at a conference. But back home, nothing changed. Mom still talked about Chloe's latest exhibition in LA. Dad still called my work your little computer thing. At Thanksgiving, my cousin asked if I was still helping old people find their Facebook passwords. Chloe chuckled. That's cute, Ava. You always did like puzzles. I laughed too. Because what else could I do? I could lead a training with 200 people on Zoom, field 40 emails a day, juggle curriculum updates and IT issues. But at home, I was still the one who took a break. Once, I overheard Mom on the phone. She's doing something with technology and the elderly. No, not nursing. Like typing or something. Typing. It would have been funny if it didn't sting so much. Chloe would send me links to her interviews, magazines, podcasts, art shows. She was always the radiant one, the celebrated one. She deserved it. She worked hard. But so did I. And even as Silverbridge reached national pilot stage, even when I flew to DC to speak on a panel about digital equity for seniors, my seat at the family table stayed the same. Small. Peripheral. I kept going. Not for recognition, but because every Tuesday at 6 p.m., someone still walked in and said, "I'm scared of this computer." And I got to say, "You're not alone." That was enough. Mostly. It was supposed to be just another Thursday night dinner at Nathan's Bistro, a quiet little place where the lighting is soft and the servers remember your drink order. I was meeting Ben, Chloe's fiancé. She had insisted. "You two never talk," she said. "You'll like each other." He's sweet. He was already at the table when I arrived. Brown sweater, glasses, nervous hands. We ordered wine, talked about work, weather, and how Portland never really has a spring, just rain, then sudden sun. Then, out of nowhere, he said, "Hey, have you heard of something called Silverbridge?" I paused, blinking. "Yeah," I said casually. "I've heard of it." His eyes lit up. "It's amazing," he said. "My grandma was part of one of their programs. She was always terrified of computers, like even the idea of a phone call made her panic. But someone there, I don't know who, taught her how to use Zoom. She joined our engagement dinner last month. On video. First time she's seen the whole family together in years." He laughed a little. "She cried when she saw Chloe's face on screen. Said she never thought she'd live to see that." My heart was pounding. I nodded, smiling softly. Ben went on. "She sends me emails now. Sometimes memes. Even a calendar invite to her birthday. She told me that whoever started Silverbridge saved her dignity." I took a sip of water. Voice calm. "I started it." He blinked. "You wait, you're Ava?" I nodded again. He sat back in his chair. "I thought Chloe said you did, like, community work or something." I didn't realize. He trailed off. Silence stretched between us, thick and unspoken. Then he leaned forward. "I'm sorry. I should have known. Everyone should have known." I didn't say anything. Because suddenly I didn't have to. The truth had walked in. Sat down across from me. And refused to stay quiet. The days after dinner were strange. Mom sent a text. Just 2 words. "Proud now." My brother called, not to ask for favors, but to check in. No jokes. No sarcasm. I found a folded note on my desk one morning, in Chloe's handwriting. "You've always been the real hero. Sorry it took us this long." I didn't respond. I didn't need to. It wasn't about winning approval. It was about something quieter. It was peace. Peace in knowing I hadn't needed their applause to matter. Peace in knowing I had saved more than just a family's dignity. I'd saved mine. I kept the note, folded carefully, tucked inside my journal. I never printed it. Never needed to. Because some victories don't belong on a trophy shelf. They belong in the soft corners of your heart. where no one else can reach them. If you've ever felt invisible, like your story doesn't matter, or your work goes unseen, this one's for you. Maybe you're the quiet backbone, the steady light behind the scenes. Maybe you're waiting for your moment, or maybe you've already found it but no one noticed. Wherever you're watching from, know this. Your value isn't measured by applause. It's in the lives you touch, even the ones that never make the headlines. So tell me, where are you watching from? What's your story? Because sometimes sharing it is the first step toward being seen. Thank you for listening. There are more stories like this coming soon. Stories of quiet victories, second chances, and unexpected heroes. Until then, take care of yourself. You matter.